It's the Friday before Renegade weekend, and I have all of my things packed up in my car, so I'm gonna head over a day early to get my booth set up so I'm not rushing on Saturday morning. But I'm gonna show you some prep work that it took me to get to this point. It's 1 week before Renegade, and in addition to all of the prep I'm already doing, I decided it's time to repaint my sign. I started off with a foam core board from my local craft store and added a few layers of green paint to the top of it. After that, I used my ruler to lay out all the lines for where my text would go and got started on the white lettering. I like making my own sign because I think it adds to the handmade feel of my booth. After I finished that, I had to prepare some paintings I made for Renegade by signing the backs of the panels and adding the hanging hardware. And like any other artist online, I also filmed some content for an order a new retailer placed with me. Once I had all of my inventory ready to go, it's time to pack the car. It really is like a giant game of Tetris. Now that I have everything ready to go, it's time to head over. Once I got to Fort Mason Center, I quickly paid my $10 for a couple hours of parking, and I really tried to move fast because Renegade only gives you 2 hours on the day before the weekend of the event to set up, so I wanted to make sure I got as much done as I possibly could. And this included carting over all of my things to my booth spot, which was towards the front this time, and you can see my pile of things all right here. Even though my booth often looks very similar event to event, I can sometimes incorporate some micro changes depending on if I have a new display fixture I want to use, or if there's a specific product I want to highlight for the weekend. It can change from time to time. I usually don't go in with an exact plan of what I want it to look like, but I do have an idea based off of what's worked well in the past. Since I do have a lot of different products I show off, there's often a lot of tweaking and rearranging that goes on to make sure I have my booth set up exactly the way I want it. And here's what the final booth display is looking like, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I have some new hat designs I'm debuting for this weekend, so I have them up front and center, and I'm making sure they're visible to everyone who walks by. I did forget like a box or two at home, so I'm making sure I bring those back tomorrow so that I don't have a big gap in my table. I really like packing out and maxing out all the square footage I have available. I just got home, but my work isn't done yet. I forgot a box today to bring over, so I put that near the front door so I don't forget it tomorrow morning. But I also need to make some new signage because a few of mine were missing. I think they got beat up and I just threw them out at my last event, so now I need to create some new ones. It's Saturday morning and it's the first day of SF Renegade. I have the boxes that I forgot in my trunk now, and I'm gonna be heading over to SF. I made it to the Fort Mason Center, and this is the building that I'll be in all weekend. My table's probably like right behind this wall. I finished setting up this morning and doing all the little minor tweaks I wanted to do to my booth. Everyone's still pretty much finishing up their setup, so I can't really walk around or do too much shopping today, so I'll save that for tomorrow. There's about 40 minutes until the doors open, but once they do, it'll get pretty busy. Day one of Renegade is over, and it was a really big success, so I need to drive home now back to San Jose and pick up some more products to restock for tomorrow. It's now Sunday and day 2 of Renegade. I have some prints with me in the car to restock when I get to Fort Mason Center today. It looks like it's going to be a little rainy in the morning, which I'm a little worried about, but it doesn't last long, so I think we should be okay. I'm happy to say that I made it to San Francisco, and it's not rainy, it's just really cloudy and a little hazy, but it doesn't look like there's gonna be rain. I got here really early, and there's just a few others setting up at this point now. The first day of the event was super successful, and it felt like there was a non-stop wall of people coming in until like the last hour of the event, and I even sold out of a few designs, so I made sure to bring back more in the morning of the second day, and I reorganized and tidied up the rest of my booth as well to make it look nice and fresh again. One thing I love about Renegade is that everyone's booth looks amazing, and there's so much work that gets put into all the different displays. It's just really inspiring, and I get so many different ideas for what I want to change about my own booth or any upgrades I might want to add. This is what my booth looks like in the aftermath of the event, and you could see I still even sold out of a few more designs even on the second day. Once the clock hits closing time, all the vendors start quickly packing up their booths, because even though it's been a very fun and exciting weekend, it's also been a very long weekend, and everyone's excited to go home and eat dinner and start to relax again. I finished packing up, and all of my things are in my car now, so it's time to make the hour-and-a-half drive home to San Jose. Renegade continues to be one of my favorite events to participate in. Not only do I get to table in a new city and get exposure to an entirely new market, I also get to see so many amazing artists that I don't normally get to interact with in San Jose. The interactions I have with customers are always amazing, and I look forward to being back.